Hi, I'm Ignacio Molina, and today I'll be comparing two astounding films, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and The Passion of Joan of Arc. So let's get started. In many instances, both films are revered as being some of the greatest examples of close-up ever employed into the artistry of film. Despite the similarity, one crucial difference stands out between the two films when close-ups are compared side by side. Sound. How does this pivotal difference between these two films ultimately affect the subject of the close-up within each film? To understand the effect of audio on the close-up, we must first understand how these films are similar, in order to recognize how they deviate. Often, the subject of the close-up revolves around the emotions of the face, or the physiognomy. As Balazs states, facial expressions are the most subjective manifestations of man. The most subjective and individual of human manifestations is rendered objective in the close-up. True emotion is revealed in the close-up, when the face becomes the focus, and all peripheral distractions are blocked off. In The Tragedy of Joan of Arc, the film throws you in medias res of the story, beginning with the trial of Joan of Arc. The scene cuts between Joan and the clergyman dictating her fate. The entire scene is told almost exclusively in close-up, with little to no camera movement, exposing audiences to the raw emotion of Joan, and the sadness and anguish she feels knowing she's helpless in defending France. Her emotion is contrasted to the anger of the clergyman, whose faces twist with contempt as they scream insults at Joanne. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly utilizes an almost identical camera technique at the height of its tension. A three-way Mexican standoff between the film's main characters, told almost entirely in close-up. The scene cuts back and forth between the characters' facial expressions, their subtle facial cues revealed as their face becomes the sole subject of the shot. Tuco's afraid, Angel Eyes schemes, and the man with no name is calm and collected. Extreme close-up also plays a crucial role in both films. As Steve Woodward explains in reference to Balazs, the choice of such fragments, in reference to the close-up, must serve the narrative and awaken metaphorical associations in the audience. In Joan of Arc, multiple shots are seen of Joan's legs in chains, followed by the shot of a chained Bible. The combination of these shots breathes individualistic life into both subjects, while still remaining a part of a whole. The audience draws a relation between the two chained objects and comes to understand that the Bible shown is what is ultimately holding Joan captive, as it's what dictates the rules of her captors. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly utilizes hands, guns, and eyes. Hands and guns are frequently shown in extreme close-ups together, emphasizing the main characters' near future as they get ready to fire on each other. Just before the pivotal moment where characters fire on each other, the audience sees an extreme close-up of each character's face, further highlighting the emotion of each, as revealed exclusively through the animism of the eyes. Despite only seeing part of the face, the audience relates the emotion behind this partial visage to the entirety of a character, thereby further driving the story forward. As explained by Eisenstein, montage is the splicing together of two different shots in order to synthesize a new idea. Both films do this in order to retain a character's relation to one another. Without a visible setting in close-ups, montage is used in order to construct the visual idea of eye contact between characters. Joanne looks up at the clergyman, and Angel Eyes stares back and forth at his two opponents. So where does sound come into play? Let's watch both scenes again, but this time remove sound from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. When you eliminate sound from both, one other key difference stands out: performance. Audio adds an extra layer of film language, another means with which to convey a story. Once again, in reference to Balazs, Stephen Woodward explains, synchronized sound is a technological opportunity that might, like the cinema camera itself, open up new objects of representation. In The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, music is used to heighten the conflict between characters. It conveys tension and drama to the audience. The Tragedy of Joan of Arc cannot afford this luxury, and therefore must convey the same sensation entirely through the visual cues of the screen. As a result, every detail of an actor's performance is heightened. Joan's eyes widen in worry. The clergyman's faces contort in anger and disgust. The scene's tension is held entirely in the physiognomy of the actor's face. Contrastly, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly contains a subtlety. The characters' faces do not need to prominently display their emotions because tension is created through the film's soundtrack. Physiognomy of the close-up then becomes a more subtle art form, one that is felt and experienced, but not always consciously digested. A lack of audio within silent cinema causes this accentuation of the physiognomy of characters' face in close-up in order to compensate for that which is provided by audio in later cinema. Thank you.